In life, we often find ourselves deeply connected to someone, a bond so strong that it feels like fate. We imagine a future with them, perhaps even envisioning marriage, only to see it slip away. It's painful and confusing, especially when we believe that person was sent into our lives for a reason. But what if Allah brought them into your heart, not for marriage, but for something far greater? The truth is, not every emotional connection is meant to lead to marriage. Sometimes, these bonds serve a different purpose: to teach us, guide us, and bring us closer to Allah. In today's video, we'll explore the profound wisdom behind why Allah places certain people in our hearts, and how these connections can help us grow spiritually, emotionally, and closer to our Creator. So, if you've ever felt this way, stay tuned, because this is a message you need to hear. 1. Emotional connection doesn't always lead to marriage. In life, we often come across people who stir something deep within us, a sense of familiarity, ease, or love that feels incredibly natural. It's easy to assume that such a connection must be a sign from Allah that this person is the one. But the truth is, not every emotional bond is meant to end in marriage. In Islam, feelings alone aren't enough to determine compatibility or divine will. There are countless factors, timing, character, Deen and Qadr, that must align for a relationship to be truly blessed and lasting. Sometimes the heart becomes attached before the path becomes clear. You may dream, plan and pray for a future with someone, only to realize that circumstances never allow it to happen. This isn't a punishment or failure, it's Allah's mercy in disguise. What feels right emotionally may not be right spiritually or practically. Allah sees beyond what we feel. He knows what will protect us, even when we don't. And while our emotions may be sincere, they aren't always a sign of divine approval for marriage. In fact, such a connection might simply be a fleeting test to teach us reliance, trust, and surrender to His plan. 2. Divine wisdom behind unfulfilled love. When a connection doesn't lead to marriage, it's natural to feel confused or even heartbroken. But in Islam, every event in our lives carries divine wisdom, even the ones that leave us with unanswered questions. Allah, in His infinite knowledge, places people in our lives not always for the outcome we expect, but for the growth He knows we need. That person may have been sent, not as a life partner, but as a means to awaken something inside you, perhaps to shift your priorities, soften your heart, or bring hidden weaknesses to light. Sometimes, Allah allows your heart to attach to someone to teach you how to detach from the world and rely solely on Him. You may not understand it now, but He is shaping your journey with perfect precision. The delay, the silence, the closed doors, all serve a purpose you might only recognize later. While you were focused on building a future with that person, Allah was building a future for you, one that you may have never chosen, but one that is ultimately better for your soul. What feels like a rejection from people is often a redirection from Allah towards something greater. 3. Spiritual purpose. Sometimes the emotional pull you feel towards someone isn't about them at all. It's about what Allah wants to awaken within you. Love can be a powerful mirror, reflecting parts of yourself you never noticed before. When you care deeply for someone who isn't meant to stay, it forces you to examine your intentions, your attachment to dunya, and your relationship with Allah. These experiences often become turning points in your spiritual journey. You might start praying more sincerely, seeking answers through the Quran, or even crying out to Allah in ways you never did before. That's not a coincidence. That's transformation. Allah uses these moments to pull your heart closer to Him. The longing you feel isn't just for a person. It's a deeper longing for connection, safety, and love, things that only He can fully provide. These unfulfilled attachments also teach humility. They remind you that no matter how strong your emotions are, you are not in control. Allah is. Through this process, your heart learns that true peace doesn't come from people, but from surrendering to the one who created your heart in the first place. And that lesson is more valuable than any relationship. 4. Temporary role in your life. Not everyone who enters your heart is meant to stay forever. In Islam, people come into our lives for different reasons. Some are blessings, some are tests, and some are both. The person you felt so deeply connected to may have been placed in your life only for a short season, to teach, to trigger growth, or to redirect your journey. Just because someone had a strong impact doesn't mean they were meant to walk with you till the end. Sometimes, Allah sends someone to help you uncover a part of yourself you had forgotten. Your strength, your values, or your emotional depth. They may have helped you heal from a wound, challenged your mindset, or even inspired you to return to your faith. But once their role is complete, Allah removes them, not out of cruelty, but out of divine care. Holding on to what was meant to be temporary can only delay what is truly meant for you. Letting go doesn't mean the connection was meaningless. It means it served its purpose. Just like certain chapters in a book move the story forward without being the ending, some people are simply part of your journey, not your destination. 5. No emotion is wasted. In Islam, nothing you go through is ever meaningless, not even the emotions that leave you feeling broken. Allah is Al-Hakim, the most wise, and He does not allow a single tear, hope, or heartbeat to go to waste. The love you felt, the longing you carried, even the sleepless nights, all of it is seen by Allah, and all of it has a purpose. Your emotions are part of your soul's journey. They purify your heart, humble your desires, and often soften you in ways nothing else can. The pain you experienced might become the very thing that makes you more compassionate, more understanding of others, and more sincere in your prayers. What you thought was weakness is actually building your spiritual resilience. Moreover, these feelings often push you to reflect deeply, to grow closer to Allah, and to understand yourself better. They create a shift within you that changes the way you see relationships, the dunya, and your own worth. So even if the connection didn't last, it left behind seeds of growth. Allah, in His mercy, transforms your heartache into a tool for elevation, and not a single emotion is overlooked or wasted in His divine plan. 6. Not meant to stay. There are moments in life when someone enters your world so unexpectedly and yet leaves such a deep mark that it's hard to imagine life without them. But in Islam, we learn that not everything beautiful is meant to last. Some people are written into your story not as a permanent chapter, but as a brief lesson or a moment of awakening. Their presence served a purpose, but their absence serves one too. It's painful when someone you cared for deeply doesn't remain by your side, but this detachment is often Allah's way of protecting you from something you can't yet see. Sometimes, the longer they stay, the more you delay your own healing or growth. Their exit might feel like loss, but in reality, it could be mercy, a hidden blessing wrapped in temporary pain. We must learn to accept that presence isn't always proof of permanence. In fact, Allah, out of His wisdom, sometimes removes people from your life before they become a distraction, a trial, or a source of harm. Letting go doesn't mean the bond was false. It means its time had ended. And trusting Allah means believing He removes with the same wisdom He gives. 7. Redirecting attachment to Allah. One of the most profound lessons Allah teaches us through unfulfilled emotional connections is the redirection of our hearts toward Him. As humans, we often seek love and validation from others, thinking it will bring us peace and fulfillment. However, Allah, in His infinite wisdom, allows these attachments to arise only to guide us back to our Creator. When you experience the emotional intensity of caring for someone who isn't meant to stay, it serves as a reminder that only Allah can truly satisfy the deepest longings of the heart. These moments of attachment teach you to surrender your desires, to understand that no one but Allah can provide the ultimate comfort. The love you felt for someone may feel intense, but Allah's love is far greater, more fulfilling, and everlasting. The temporary nature of human relationships highlights the permanence of Allah's connection with His creation. When we learn to detach from the world and redirect our attachment to Allah, our hearts become more focused on what truly matters, our relationship with Him. In these moments of longing, you are reminded that everything in life, even love, is fleeting, and that true peace can only be found in Allah. In conclusion, remember that not every connection is meant to last forever, but every experience has a purpose in shaping your spiritual journey. Allah's wisdom in guiding us through these emotional paths is unmatched, and each moment brings us closer to Him. Trust in His plan, for He knows what's best for your heart. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Deen for more insightful content. May Allah bless you with peace, wisdom, and guidance in all your relationships. Comment below with your thoughts and prayers for clarity, and let's support each other on this journey.